just spending more time with people that are interested and just less time with people who just don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And you just leave. If you spend more time with people who are interested or maybe on the fence, you're going to get a lot more sales. People just don't care. You just leave. Just turn around and...
Welcome everybody out to the D2D podcast, the Golden Door Deep Dive segment where I, your host Roz, pick the brains of all the Golden Door winners of this past year. We have with us Isaac Cluff. Kind of a unique last name there. I can't say I've heard that one.
It's pretty unique, especially where I knocked. No one's heard of it. But
where does the origin of that come from?
I think somewhere in England they used to spell it C-L-U-G-H, and then they changed it to C-L-U-F-F. So I'm not huge on history, but that's just what I do know. So, but yeah,
love it. So Sir Cluff of English descent. So Isaac's coming off of a big summer in pest control. Give the audience a little bit of a background, like how many accounts was that? How much revenue? What did that look like?
Accounts I sold. Well, I serviced 1,005, so I had 1,005 service. That was one of the requirements for Golden Door. I didn't hit the revenue side of the Golden Door. I got about 538 or so in service revenue. Well, that's not true. Maybe about 580,000.
Okay.
So
almost there with revenue. But guys, for those listening, Golden Door Pest Control, there's two ways you can hit it: 650,000 in revenue or 1,000 account serviced. So, it's still a crap ton of accounts, a bunch of money. He's definitely sitting high on his chair. His wallet's very thick. So he's living large. So, Isaac, we were jamming a little bit about this before we started rolling, but what's your progression? How'd you get into the industry?
Okay. Well, my oldest brother, he's the owner of the company that I worked for. And he started selling in Texas for, Aptiv and different companies, Sage. And then him and his best friend just decided they wanted to start their own company in Arkansas. And so, it's just my older brother has this company. I grew up building fences, so didn't have, that sales mind. I didn't know about it until my senior year of high school, or junior year, I guess.
Where'd you grow up?
Manti, Utah.
Okay. So you're in middle of Utah, kind of hick town a little bit. That was fun.
Yeah, so small town. Then I just sold my first summer, and then, that's about it.
There we go. And then tell everyone, how did you do that first summer?
So my first year, I serviced 279 accounts. Wasn't the best. I was top first year rep in the company right out of high school, but so that's how much.
Yeah. So what was your mindset going into it? You kind of didn't really know too much about sales beforehand. What was it that brought you into the opportunity?
I feel like my first year was definitely the money, because I was just with my high school buddies. Yeah, we kind of messed around, just had a lot of fun. But then we got paid really well, so it's kind of worth it that way. Now is when it's kind of a bit different, but
yeah, for sure. So punk kid, 18 years old, go out and you kind of find the vehicle of door to door. And then you mentioned that you went on your 2-year mission after that, and then you come back home, and then you're throwing in 1,000 accounts. When did you officially come home from the Mish?
Last year, October.
So a year.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Well, no one ever officially comes home from the mission. So
right. That's true.
We all leave parts of us out there. But anyways, so you've been home for about a year. You're, however many months home from the mission. You go out. What inspired you to do a Golden Door this year?
I think competitiveness. My brother, who's just older than me, he got home a year earlier than me on a mission, and so he sold Golden Door last year, And he serviced 1,004 accounts. So my only goal this year was to, beat my brother. So I
Beat
serviced
him by one
1,005.
account.
Right. Yeah.
Thank heavens they didn't cancel.
I know. It was stressful. I had to go back, but yeah, I beat him. That's kind of what my big desire was to be competitive with him, just to prove my brothers that I could be there with them and do what they do.
Okay. So you looked to your brothers, you saw what they did, and you felt like that drive of inspiration to want to beat them. Was that the only factor that went into you going and doing a Golden Door? How much of a drive was that for you?
I mean, it was probably the top one. I mean, the next obviously is financial freedom. There's a lot of money in door-to-door sales, and to have that jump on my age group, it's pretty awesome to be financially free and to I got married during the summer, so I took a little break for that.
Oh, wow.
So and just to provide for her, and I don't have kids yet. We're not anything like that, but it's
Did
just,
you get to do a little honeymoon, or was it like boom, boom?
I mean, it was short. I took 2 weeks off, a week for the wedding, a week for honeymoon, so I had a little break in there. It was kind of nice and needed. I knocked a lot this year, but
Yeah. It's a little jarring when they come into the world.
yeah. So
You're like, oh, you work like 12 hours a day.
yeah, so it wasn't easy for her, and she's a big support, and
Yeah.
to spend that much time. I'm knocking a lot of hours every day, so to be away right at marriage is pretty tough. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's, life balance is kind of impossible in this job, but you need like to be strategically unbalanced in a lot of things, especially because now it's like we're coming off the summer and now you have all the time in the world to spend with your wife, which I'm sure she really appreciates and probably sees as worth it now, even though at the time it was probably hard. So when did you officially finish the summer?
So it was actually just a couple weeks ago. The very beginning of October, might have been the 8th or 9th. I'd have to check the calendar, but just right there this month. So I started in March. Well, my first day was February 27th. So, but yeah, March to October. So
Wow. So that's let's count this up. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, almost like more than 6 months.
yeah, yep.
7 months of what did that look like for you as far as like a day to day? Did you kind of take it kind of a little bit more at an easier pace, but just kind of more like a marathon? Was it sprint the whole time, or what did that look like?
I mean, obviously, I wanted to get as many sales every day. I did take, occasional breaks in between. We did, some family reunions. I got married. So, I mean, about a month of it was, vacation or just taking off. But, I mean, a lot of it was just going hard, trying to get as many sales. I mean, I wasn't like I was the top rep of the company, but I didn't have like the best closing ratio. So I knew I needed to knock this amount of days and hours to get my 1,000. I couldn't just do it in a short amount of time, which, I mean, there are some sales reps who do it in, 3 months. So.
Sure.
But
Okay. Well, this is an interesting principle, the principle of the numbers game behind it. Because everyone has a number.
yeah,
No matter how bad you are, you will knock enough doors to eventually sell someone.
Right.
Like, give me the pest control rep that just has an iPad, that has a slick, send him out. If he knocks enough doors, he'll eventually get a yes.
Yeah.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, what were those numbers for you?
I actually found out midsummer. I don't know what I ended on. My first year, I sold about 1 in 17 people, I want to say. I did knock it down this year. I think it was about 1 in 12, maybe 1 in 15. I don't know.
Okay.
But I mean, it's been since, the dead heat of the summer since I've really looked at my numbers. So.
Gotcha. But still, I mean, if you have your numbers dialed in, then it also really takes the emotion out of it because it's like, oh, well, I'm only at 10 people. I know I have to talk to 12 in order to get a deal. And it always averages out at some point or another. So, talk to me about that. So guys, like for those listening, there are two different approaches to it. And the best obviously is to like synergistically mesh them together to where like you have a strong closing ratio and a really strong work ethic. But I think especially for those starting out that are, want to be hitting higher numbers, the more hours you put into it, the more you dial in and track those doors that you're knocking, you're going to be able to dial in your numbers and then just play to that. So, you had that idea, you knew, I have to knock X amount of doors in order to sell 1,000 accounts. So I'm just going to go do that, which is awesome. So, and then are you tracking those based on like qualified buyer or just like people you talk to, or like it can be any and everyone?
I think it's everyone. We do take my boss would be the one who like tells me, so I don't know exactly how he does it, but there's certain pins that we drop with like not interested. The only ones they take away are the people that aren't home. So all the blue pins, yellow pins, red pins, all that added up, one in every.
So it's on your
maker,
iPad, your CRM. You're tracking those, and it'll tell you what that's looking like. Gotcha. Because I remember when I was knocking, I'd have to just use the counter app.
Okay, there you go.
It was just like doors knocked. No, just like little things like that. Answered, qualified buyers, things like that. To really like figure out where I was either going wrong or things like that. But numbers are playing a huge part of it. So, chatting a little bit before the podcast, you mentioned one of your specialties is like the fresh customer. So someone that is not, they don't have a current pest control company, or they maybe have like a DIY company that they use. So how did you learn how to create value? How do you learn how to sell those people? And what do you do to sell those people?
One thing I know that I'm really good at is I'm really friendly with them. I am like not overbearing. I will push them a little bit, but I mean, I learned from, I watched the door-to-door videos before I went and knocked. So Parker Laneville, he teaches really well. But like people only say yes when they feel like it's okay to say no. So I'm a lot more relaxed with those people, more laid back. I will push them and ask them questions to get them thinking. But I feel like they like me. Switchovers, different story, but yeah.
We gotta get you. We gotta switch over your mind to the switchover, bro.
I'm trying. So
no, it's fun jamming with a lot of people on the podcast so far. Most of them have been pest control, and a very common theme among them is that they learn to love switchovers.
Okay.
They all struggle with it at first, but they learn to love it. So I've had guys come in here. They'll be like, "Yeah, knock a door." The second they mention that they have a company, I get excited.
Right.
Because I know it's a deal. Because they see the value in it. So, but anyway, shifting gears over. So, what market were you in? You mentioned you were in a couple different markets. So where were you this last summer?
I was in Northwest Arkansas. That one is a little, and Missouri. I sold in Springfield and Jefferson City. Jefferson City, there was, huge company that's been there for 50 plus years. They don't door knock, but I mean, everyone knows them and, they're on all the ads. So that was kind of harder that way to earn their loyalty and trust because we did open.
Was it the kind of an older older people there too?
Yeah.
So they're very like loyal to their company.
So that's where I spent most of my time. That's why that's why switchovers was kind of hard for me over there. A lot of loyalty. Arkansas, there's a lot of competition there. There's a lot of door to door for a lot of different companies. And so that one, the switchover, the people are kind of, they know what they're kind of expecting you to throw a better deal at them or, and do something extra for value so that was kind of the competition there.
Which one did you prefer?
I did prefer Jefferson City. There was maybe a couple door knocking companies there. Not a whole lot of pests, but they were really loyal. So that's why I got kind of good at people who like didn't know them or like were willing to try something new.
Interesting. Yeah.
Sam Taggart here with Door to Door Con 7 coming up right around the corner. Get your tickets at dddcon.com. January 25th through the 27th in Salt Lake City, Utah. You aren't going to want to miss this. Don't procrastinate. Go take action. Bring you and your team because we level up your sales, level up your recruiting, and level up your business. Come as a team, learn as a team, and leave as a tribe.
We all kind of develop our favorite customer. Yours was probably like, fresh new move in or something like that.
Right.
What would you say it was?
Probably, younger families, people who I could relate with. still credit to old people that gave me a shot, but they were, oh, I've known this guy for so and so years. I can't switch. So, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just going to go. I know I can get to the next door quicker. If you say no, that's fine. I'm just going to go talk to the neighbor and see what he has to say.
Yeah, because in the end, it's the numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to enough people, you're going to get your deals. So going for, 7 months, obviously, you had your breaks in between, you got married, honeymoon, family trips, whatnot. How do you have that kind of endurance though?
I don't know. I'm not one for big, long answers. It's just knocking doors. Like it's not like super hard for me to get out and go and knock.
Okay.
Like I enjoy talking to people. Yeah, it can have some long days if you don't get sales for a couple hours, but, really it wasn't super hard for me. At the end, yeah, my last 100 sales is a lot harder than any other, group of 100 sales that I've sold. The last is, I want to go home. I wasn't supposed to be here for so long because I took this trip or, things like that. So that kind of got to me, but, it's like, I'm already that far. I know I'm going to get it and I have to get it. So you just go
Yeah, when you're on the last leg,
Right.
it's like, as badly as I don't want to do this, it's like, there's no reason for me not to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Mad respect, honestly. It is a grind, but I do appreciate the mindset there. Because in the end, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, what's the job if not just you ride around on a Segway and you talk to people?
Right.
Like, that's it. Like,
Right.
like even from a physical standpoint, the job is not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But where most people struggle is the mental standpoint. Having the mental energy to close people, having the mental energy to deal with their crap. Because if there's a more dishonest group of people than a homeowner that is being sold something door to door, I don't think that there is. So how do you think you developed that kind of mental resilience beforehand to where you could have that kind of perception of it? Was it just kind of always there, or like, what do you think?
Yeah, there wasn't like a specific day where it was like it changed or anything like that. It kind of grew over time of just like really not caring, just spending more time with people that are interested and just less time with people who just don't give a crap.
Yeah.
And you just leave. If you spend more time with people who are interested or maybe on the fence, you're going to get a lot more sales. People just don't care. You just leave. Just turn around and get on your one-wheel Segway and get out of there.
Yeah. Did you ride a Segway or were you on foot?
I rode a one-wheel, so it's Segway.
Okay.
So that's the way to go. Get door to door so much faster.
I know it's true. If you don't have wheels on the doors, it just makes it so much more like
It's like an investment.
Yeah,
It'll make you more money.
You'll make a lot more money. You'll save your legs a lot of pain. I remember being on foot mostly, and it just hurt.
Yeah.
But anyways, talking to, that mental stamina again. Yeah, it's just kind of like a slow build over time. Take the emotion out of it, guys. Make it a numbers game. Simplify it to its brass tacks. It's like we're just talking to people, and if you talk to enough people, you'll eventually get there. So I love that approach to it. And then talk to me about we've talked about like your brother being like a huge role model for you. Like speak to me on like the role of like mentorship in your career.
It's important once you see someone who you really love and care about, obtain a high goal or a high achievement, and then they help you with that. It's just so much more meaningful. If I did it on my own, that's cool too. But just sharing the responsibility, sharing the celebration together, it just means a lot more. Mentorship is just, super important, makes you feel more welcome and more involved, when they ask, how you're doing and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like everyone needs that example. Everyone needs that that mentorship. And especially because like if you never had that, then you wouldn't have been inspired to go out and do a golden door like you have.
Right.
So love that has played such a big role. Now shifting gears a little bit over into D2D Con. So I take it this is going to be your first D2D Con.
It's my second.
Second DDD Con.
Yeah, I went last year because my brother was getting a Golden Door, so I had to go support him.
Love it.
I mean, I loved every other part of it with the workshops and things like that.
For sure. What was your experience like at DDD Con?
It was different. I've never really done much like that. I've never been, one to be with, big crowds of people. I mean, it wasn't like a concert. It was, a convention. It was really fun. But my first experience was great. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And you do learn a lot and get, motivated. I don't feel like my motivation for Golden Door was because of Door-to-Door Con. It's probably because my brothers and my own goals, but it did push me, to have more appreciation for the door-to-door industry, and just have that respect, the INOG doors.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. It's creating the abundance mindset, and like we're all on the same team here. And especially, like bringing that pride into it. It's like, we can tell grandma that we knock doors and we're proud to do it. and we don't have to be like, telling Bishop Johnson that, I'm just working on my degree and like, I'll see what happens when I get a real big boy job. It's like, no, we can actually make like, not just money, but like, respectable money and have lifelong careers. So do you see this as a lifelong career for you?
Maybe not knocking doors on a day-to-day basis, but yeah, the industry of, talking to people. And I mean, like I would love to, maybe one day have an own pest company like my brother, or, go a different route, but business, door-to-door, different things like that.
Yeah. So. Well, the cool thing is like doing the door-to-door has completely opened your possibilities up. Now there's nothing you can't do.
Right.
So that's a great part of it. So, dude, we're excited to have you on stage at DDD Con 7. Guys, January 25th through the 27th, Salt Lake City. Going to be absolutely wild. Again, it's where all the Golden Door winners are going to be. And if you want to meet them, network with them, talk to them, it's like it doesn't matter what industry you're in, especially, if you're in a different industry. Let's say you're in solar, you can learn so much from like these pest control guys. If you're in roofing, you can learn a lot from the alarm guys. If you're in pest control, you can learn a lot from the solar guys. And that's like the beautiful part of DDD Con is bringing it all together and having that mission where we can uplift and inspire each other. So come meet Isaac, come meet all the other Golden Door winners, get inspired, pick their brains. He's not going to bite twice, but happy Halloween coming up here in a couple days. But anyways, do you have any like parting words for the industry? Anything like that, you feel like took a while for you to learn and now it's like the standard for you?
One thing that didn't take me forever to learn, but took a little time is accepting change, and just trying new things. Like I knew I was going to sell pest control for my brother, we're blood. But I did, take an opportunity to go and do a solar blitz with my buddy. So, I mean, that's why I loved, even the switchovers, just asking people if they want to try something different, go to your same restaurant and try something different that you'd want. But just trying something new. A lot of people, they'll grow up, their families in pest, and then they, say other things about other industries. But if you go and try it, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's so many different opportunities. So I feel like a big one is just, trying new things, and, being flexible to change. And,
I love it. Well, guys, this has been a Golden Door Deep Dive segment. We'll see you at DDD Con this January 25th through the 27th in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's been a great podcast, my man. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.